Espiritu, the interviewer. It is the interviewee, Ferdie Espiritu, my father. He is currently Kagawad of barangay 140, and he's running for city councilor of Pasay, and he also runs his own business. It's a water refilling business. For the first question, what does leadership mean to you?
Leadership for me is someone who can lead the people or guide them, all right, and be their inspiration.
For the second question, describe the key actions and behaviors of the person that you've experienced as your best leader.
Best leader because well, maybe Michael Jordan. Yeah, because he's a good leader. I'm into basketball. Used to play basketball until now. I love playing basketball. So imagine, Michael Jordan is he got what? How many rings? Six. All right. So six championships. So that's a good leader for me because he's not in politics, but the way he motivates his teammates. All right, and the way he plays by the heart. All right.
Can you give another example, someone personal to you? Maybe your former boss, maybe your
Well, maybe one of my bosses. All right, that's alright. One of my bosses. Well, they're like when they're in the office. All right, like me, what I do in the office, we really need to work. All right, we still have to do a lot of things. Do the things that we needed to do. Do the things that we need to achieve. All right, especially in sales. All right, so and if you were outside the office, we're just good friends. All right, so you have to be that way.
so he was a friend to you outside of work,
Of
and
course.
he's quite strict when it comes to work.
Yeah.
For the third question, are leaders born or made?
Leaders for me are born. All right, they're not made because well, a leader for me, all right, they have a strong will. They should have a strong will. They should have a heart, a big heart, all right, to achieve whatever they wanted to get or they wanted to be to prosper, all right.
Um, for the fourth question, what is a role model? In what ways are role models important for leaders? So, what have you learned from your role models?
All right, role models, of course. To be able to be a good leader, you have to be a good role model. All right. So um, you have to exercise everything. All right. You have to be when you speak, do a job. All right, that you wanted to do. All right, and you try to explain it to your people. All right. So you have to be very persistent, all right, and diligent on what you're doing, all right. So you have to, what you're saying to them is you have to inspire them to work, all right, and you have to motivate them. So you must learn, well, we're encountering different peoples here, all right, different persons. So if you know all their strengths and all their weaknesses, all right, that will be much better. All right, so when you know their strengths, you just have to mold them, all right, and motivate them and let them do the results.
For the fifth question, what can leaders do to help others in the organization see the future?
All right, well, actually, leaders are looking like 5 to 10 years, all right. So if you're a leader, you should be thinking of uh, future of 5 to 10 years. So for counselor right now. Alright, so I'm looking on, uh, well, a term is for 3 years. So I'm looking for 9 years already. What are the programs? Alright, so the programs that I needed to impose is the education, alright, to give a better education to these young people, alright, the children, of course, because they are still what we call it, the future, alright, of our society, future of our city, future of the Philippines. Alright, so we have to strengthen them to have a good education for them to be a good leader as well in the future.
So that's what you're planning to achieve in years.
Yep.
So how are you going to make the people, those who work under you, how are you going to make them see that as well? So
Alright.
that you can share the same vision.
Okay. So for this one, alright, we have to motivate these people, alright, to be a good leader as well in their respective barangays. Okay. So you should know the root cause of what? The problems of why these children not going to school, alright? Why these children doesn't want to go to school, alright? You have to see those things. You have to learn, alright? So you have to talk to the parents, you have to talk to the students as well, to the teachers, alright? So that you will know how to handle the situation. So for you to know those things, alright, so you can come up with a better solution.
So for the sixth question, what are some of the actions you take to create a climate for change and encourage risk-taking?
Alright, well, for this one, this is a climate change of...
No, I mean a climate for change. Like, how do you make your followers? How do you make them think in terms of like they have to realize that the situations change from time to time. So how are you going to make them see that and encourage them to take risks in their decisions so that in order to further succeed?
Alright, well, actually, alright, if to be a good leader, alright, if you're a good leader, you have to adapt to changes. Okay, so from time to time, alright, this the work, alright, the environment changes, alright, so you have to adapt to all those things. And also, people are not all the same. So when you talk to somebody, alright, you have to know where to start. Alright, you have to know where these people are coming from. Alright, so you can tell them, or you can motivate them the way that needs to be done. Alright, so that you can guide them as well for them to succeed. Alright, and also to achieve your goal. Of course, you have to have one goal. Alright, so if you're into changing policies, changing the products, alright, and changing something that is new, alright, to these people, you have to motivate them. Alright, you have to explain it to them differently. Alright, because we're talking not just for these children, the middle class, alright, the upper class, alright, the old and the young ones, diba? Alright, so that's how you, I believe, how you strengthen these people, alright, how you motivate them. You have to learn their strengths.
For the seventh question, should leaders let their constituents fail?
Leaders, alright, are meant to win. Alright, they're always thinking of how to win. Alright, they're always thinking of how to succeed. Okay, and they will do everything, for them to succeed. Alright, so if you have people, if you're handling people, you have to motivate them as well. Alright, we have to win, we have to succeed. How? Alright, that's where leadership comes in. If you're a good leader, alright, you can motivate these people.
So for the eighth question, how can leaders create a climate of trust and facilitate relationships among people in the work team?
Well, actually, I've been with a lot of people. Poor, alright, the middle class, alright, the upper class, alright. Well, actually, they're all the same. They're all people. But you just have, if you have one goal, if you have a goal uh, to change something or to create something, alright, you just have to tell them or to show them differently. Alright. Because not everybody have their own perspective. Diba? Have their own thinking. Yeah, of course. So, these people, alright, to be able to tell them what you wanted, okay, you have to do a lot of things that are like into what do you call this? You have to tell them like you're everything, okay? Like what you're trying to do is for the better, all right? And what you're trying to tell them is this for the greater good. So how are you going to say that to people is a different kind of perspective.
And that's how you're going to make those people trust one another and encourage them to build relationships in their own
Of course,
community.
yes.
So for the ninth question, what are three things that can be done to improve in each leadership practice? What are things that you can do in order to make yourself a better leader?
You have to be spiritually motivated, right? Or you have to have God, all right, above everything else, okay? And you have to have moral values as well, all right, to be a good leader, okay? And maybe the last thing is that you still have the will, all right, to do everything, okay?
Okay. For the 10th question, so tell me about a time you struggled with work and life balance.
All right.
Did you manage to solve the problem? And if so, how did you do it?
So you have to balance work and family and everything and friends, of course. All right. You have to balance all these things. All right. So you have to do time management. Okay. So there are times that we really need to work. All right. Extra time for 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 our family. Okay. And sometimes, alright, we have to leave work for our family. Okay, so the vice versa. So you just have to balance everything. So that is just time management.
So for the last question, how do you describe your leadership style?
My leadership, actually, it's a different thing. Okay, so I usually adapt these people. If you show them respect and love, they will love you as well.
So your leadership style is more of relating to the people who work for you. You try to see from their perspective and you try to address their needs.
Of course.
That's how you do it.
Yeah.
Okay, that concludes our interview. Thank you.
All right. Thank you.
Thank you.